It's time to show me the money yet again. No, don't actually show me the money, but that used to be the mantra every time the IPL auction used to come around, but it's evolved since then. And we're looking ahead to the auction on December 19th with a special game plan with two men who understand it extremely well. Sanjay Banga, who sat on that table, who's put a team together, and Gautam Gambhir, who's put a team together and won the IPL title as well. So, gentlemen, for all the teams, the three of us can sit back, we can try and analyze for them, but going into an auction, the preparation, Gauti, is that where, let's say, half the crown is won, sitting at that auction table?
Half the job is done.
Everyone thinks it's just about the bankroll, but Sanjay, there's got to be a strategy behind it. There is a strategy behind it. So when you're in the days building up to the auction, when you're sitting amongst the teams and you're looking at your squads, is there a kind of strategy or preparation that you can do to go into the auction with?
For sure, the team looks into.
So a lot of auction tables look like this, with the stats guys, the numbers, what are the teams looking like, the purses. But the other thing is, a lot of it goes depending on instinct. There are other teams that may be wanting similar players, which tends to happen when the bid goes up. So how important it is to be flexible with your strategy, Gauti?
See, I've always been a very strong believer in stats.
Well, I tell you what, Gauti, we're going to show you a lot of stats on the special game plan. So you better get used to it. Starting with the first stat that we have, which is the purse that is available to all teams. Look, this makes it really interesting because ahead of that IPL auction on the 19th, a lot of 0.9 crores available. So let's begin with the team that consider themselves as a team that always have the galaxy of stars, but unfortunately are always the perennial bridesmaids. They have made it clear we've let go of 12 players, we've got a bit of purse, and this is what RCB are looking like right now.
Well done, sir. Thank you very much.
So RCB enter this auction having 27 crores in the kitty. They let go of 12 players. They've let go significantly of overseas player as well. Now, the one thing that we understand about RCB, just based on trends, is that they really believe in overseas fast bowlers. But the luck, Gauti, it just hasn't worked out for them. Whether it was, signing Mitchell Stark and then injury and then a Dale Steyn and then injury or Nathan Cool till Nile. And I'm wondering if that's again something that they're looking to snap up in this auction.
With the bowling lineup, I think one area where they need to strengthen is the bowling lineup. Let's see how it goes.
One season it was difficult because Chinnaswamy had changed and they just, they'd built an attack for a completely different ground. But you look at the bowling liners, you have
somebody who's bowled a lot for Australia, and he's somebody who gives the confidence that he can last for an entire season.
As you said, Gauti, there's a lot of work that needs to be done for RCB in this auction. What is a priority? What should be the instinct that you trust on when a certain player comes?
Glenn Maxwell.
The auction, you'll know exactly what the team looks like after December 19th, which we move on to a team now that is close to Sanjay's heart because he's understood what Kings 11 Punjab have been thinking, but they perhaps made a bit of a change by saying that, listen, Ravichandran Ashwin is no longer our captain. We're looking to move beyond him. So this current squad, do they possess a captain or are they looking for one in the auction?
Look to rebuild their squad and find that match-winning combination.
So some great names that are still in this squad. The biggest question I have to ask Sanjay is, who's your captain or are you looking for one?
Very tall season there, but again, he is good against spin, he's good against pace, and he can win your game on his own.
Now, Gautam Gambhir has done that. He has done that with the bat. He has done that with leadership. It's tough to be, someone who scores the runs for the team and to captain. You've done it. So would you put that on KL Rahul or do you have another captain in mind?
No, I won't. For me, I think it's Mandeep Singh.
Okay.
And probably he will be playing all the 14 games as well. I would definitely try and think out of the box. So for me, Mandeep Singh.
If you're thinking out of the box, might as well say Chris Gayle. You never know. That might be a lot of fun.
He's a universe captain. This is too small for him.
Sanjay.
Yeah, but other than that, I think they have a good set of Indian batsmen.
Yeah.
Karun Nair, I think one of those three will fit into the squad brilliantly.
A foreign all-rounder, overseas all-rounder and an overseas fast bowler, is that where you would also keep your eye? Because Mohammad Shami coming to Kings is interesting considering he's making that comeback in T20.
For me, Chris Morris do that job for them.
Looking ahead to the IPL auction on the 19th of December, there are a couple of teams that have let go of big players. There have been some massive trades as well. There are no such questions when you think of Chennai Super Kings with the kind of success that they have in the IPL. For them, it's going to be an interesting auction.
2020.
So Chennai Super Kings have only 5 available slots. Now, you look at those names, they are tried, tested methods, all champions in their own right. For 2 years now, that Dad's Army moniker has been following Chennai Super Kings. They've been proving a few people wrong. But I find it quite interesting what Gauti says. When you go into an auction, are you looking to build a team for the next 2-3 seasons, or are you looking to build a team for just this season? And is this Chennai Super Kings team good enough for this season?
100%. And it's thinking about that one particular year will always give you more fruits in franchise cricket as compared to thinking too much ahead.
And they haven't changed the core at all. So what do they actually need in this auction, Sanjay?
Well, they were
Do they need a backup for Dwayne Bravo, especially with his specialist skill set that he has in this format?
Look, they need a backup for both, but Jai Richardson probably is an unbelievable athlete and can bowl quicker than Matt Henry.
Well, we'll only know soon enough if they in fact will be donning that famed yellow jersey, but someone who won't be donning that pink jersey anymore, it's Ajinkya Rahane, Rajasthan Royals' most capped player, played over 100 matches for them, no longer part of the franchise. That means that they've hit the reset button and they are thinking differently as they head into the auction.
PL auction.
So ahead of the big auction, Rajasthan Royals again let go of someone like Jaydev Unadkat, who they paid massive money for. The question is, does he fit into the scheme of things? So will they be looking to buy him back in the auction? Because look at the names. I mean, Steve Smith is going to be captain. You've got Ben.
For the tournament.
The Jaydev Unadkat question is a good one because you do have Varun Aaron along with Jafra Archer as well. You could look to, now that there's no Krishna Patel.
And they've got Ankit Rajput as
Yeah.
well. So
They've got
Ankit
Rajput coming in.
gets them pace. Varun Arun can bowl quick. They go all out for Jaydev Unadkat this time around.
They've always been a team that have backed young, uncapped players in a sense. You know, Shreyas Gopal could, with the bat, at least look to replace what Krishnappa Gautam does. They do the same for Karnataka. Riyan Parag could play a huge role this season. And of course, Sanju Samson. Do you need more Indian batting, Indian all-rounders? I mean, what are the gaps for you right now? And do you need backups for people like Ben Stokes and Jos Butler?
competitive, so a fresh change or maybe something different, and that's where somebody like a Sran can come in.
Last couple of years, and just go back to what Sanjay said, they've always had like a lot of overseas as well as Indian all-rounders, you know, players who can contribute in kind of all phases of the game. But would you look at specialists in this auction?
Target, because they need enough batting Indian batters, which unfortunately in this squad I don't see.
And surely a backup for Jofra Archer, because he's probably not going to last for.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, you still have 7 slots left for Mumbai Indians in this Vivo IPL auction. And here's something interesting. So they did a trade and they got Trent Bolt into the team. They also got Dhaval Kulkarni, a Mumbai player, back into Mumbai. Now, usually players
Valuable options.
There are a couple of teams that have let go of big players. There have been some massive trades as well, and a few squads who don't have too much to do when it comes to the Vivo IPL auction. After all, if you're reigning champions like Mumbai Indians and you have all your bases covered, what more do you need to do?
So for me, I think they're far better than rest of the other franchise at the moment.
I've got to ask you this question. A lot of auction strategy, as you said, begins on that table. Now, what if you're just looking to make life difficult for other teams, and why not? And maybe get a player that you don't necessarily need but another team needs. Could you look to do that if you're Mumbai? Do they have the luxury of doing that if you're Mumbai Indians?
You have the luxury of doing that.
And you already made that statement, which you can understand, because one of the strongest Indian core is possessed in this team, Mumbai Indians. But an exciting Indian talent is in a team that is close to Gautam's heart, and that is Delhi Capitals. Here is what they look like. All right, so the Delhi Capitals have always been exciting. They had an exciting season last season as well. Now, here's the interesting thing. Those big moves of bringing in Ravichandran Ashwin and Ajinkya Rahane, along with Shreyas Iyer, who's going to be captain, potentially 3 captains.
Shoot his kind of, because it's low and slow, it grips. So really excited to see.
It's an interesting dilemma, isn't it? Because you possess such Indian batsmen that have so much value and experience. So you've got to think about where you might look to bat Ajinkya Rahane. But also you're looking at the squad. Are you also thinking of saying, okay, we've let go of both the Collins, we've let go of someone like a Chris Morris. I want like a seam all-rounder, someone who can bat 6 or 7 for me, apart from Timo Paul. Are you looking at that department as well?
His side, and strengthen the side of a Mumbai Indians.
But you brought up an interesting point. Why did they let go of Trent Bolt? Is it because you have Sandeep Lamichhane and you have Kagiso Rabada, who you can only play those many overseas, and if you're not playing them as batsmen because you've got Indian batting talent, your bowlers,
Doesn't matter. The point is that
Rebuild their squad.
Speaking of KKR, we have to speak to the man who's led them to success. Gauti, all right, look, you've got Sidesh Lad in. Are you going to be using that? Because, will Sunil Narayan be opening in every single game? Largely, it was Andre Russell and his performance that got you through. But you get go someone like Chris Lynn, who's making a bit of a statement. Was it because of the first? What do you...
came around and they will buy him in the auction for anything and everything.
That's a great statement. But if you're investing all your energies and your value into, let's say, finding a captain, what else do you need? What else are you keeping track of? Because there are a few empty slots when you look at this page.
There are for sure, and they've let go of Piyush Chawla, so they'll definitely want to have a backup in the wrist spin department, because depending on
Slots to fill. SRH have 17 crores to spend at the Vivo IPL auction.
So there was the same sort of player. You let go of Yusuf Pathan, you let go of Deepak Hooda, and of course Shakib Al Hasan is no longer available. However, when you speak about trust, they kept the trust with David Warner. They kept the trust with Kane Williamson in a sense. But this season, who's your captain for Sunrisers?
David Warner. I don't see overs as well. I know he's not as good as probably someone like Mohammad Nabi, but he is probably, he can win you games with the bat. And then you've got Vijay Shankar, you've got Manish Pandey, you've got Abhishek Sharma. So probably David Warner to captain the side, and Glenn Maxwell batting at number 4 or 5 with Rashid Khan. It'll become probably a force to reckon with.
And they look like, on paper, that team looks like a force to reckon with. So where are the gaps? What are you looking for in this auction?
Bhuvneshwar Kumar plays together. I think they'll again probably be right up there in the top 4.
Like a good team. Gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing all these auction strategies with us and a few secrets. Anything that you're most looking forward to in this auction before we go into the big one? What is the most exciting thing for you, Gautam? RCB and RR.
But hoping they will do a good job in the auction, because my heart still lies with KKR.
And of course, the home ground. It will be in Kolkata, so KKR will be front and center in a sense, as all teams will be in the Vivo IPL auction, which airs on the 19th of December. We will keep you updated. We'll bring you all the build-up as well. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. It all comes down to the strategy now and the kind of fortune that you may have in the Vivo IPL auction. We'll see you then.